Hello all, welcome to the Service Binding Operator Weekly Developer Call. This is July 29th. We have no announcements right now, but I think one of the first things we want to talk about from a discussion perspective is sprint planning. Who's speaking to this topic? Do you have any items for planning for our upcoming sprints?
I mean, there's this on a GitHub is a GA milestone, and there is a number of tickets people can work on. So I mean, they can pick any of them which are not already fixed.
Okay. Is there any specific issues that anybody on the call would like to take up?
Can you share that screen and that issues so we can take a look?
Yeah, let me bring it up.
Take the milestone. I assigned one issue to myself today. What was that? Some bug.
This one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I hope no, it's not that big. So
Okay.
but that's a bug. But that thing there must be some issues. I mean stories also. But
Okay.
I'll look into this one first.
Okay.
Then I can move on to something else.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Bama is doing this narrowing down the what controller can update. This is the ongoing
Okay.
stuff. Also, user
Yes,
guide
sir.
is still ongoing stuff. I'm working on that one.
Okay.
Protect against privilege escalations. Now,
How come?
about support for cluster application resource mapping, we need to kind of see how the spec will evolve around it. So we raised a couple of concerns, and we believe we need to adjust the spec to reflect it. And once this is kind of set, we can also start working on that as well. The other one, can you just go back? The panic on invalid source value is something I'm not sure. I mean, Igor didn't actually assign to himself, but this is what he started to work on last week.
Got it. Okay.
Improving this series binding error message definitely.
Can you open the panic one? Just the ticket. Okay. This is recording 0.7, right?
I mean, the Igor already provided the draft PR for that.
Oh, okay.
So perhaps, I mean, is this referred from here? Jasper, can you scroll down?
Is it?
PR.
Okay,
No.
not really.
Doesn't
So
look
maybe
like
we
it.
should just like link it that we know what's going on. But can you assign it to Igor? Just that, and that's
Sure.
the PR, which is called Series Binding Operate 967. That's the one.
This 967. Where is it?
Yeah. That the second from the top.
Oh. Okay. Got it. Give me 1 second. I apparently have to.
I mean, we can do it offline as
authenticate
well.
myself.
No worries. We can also do it offline if you want. It's not big
Yeah.
deal.
No. I just apparently now it's prompting me for a security authentication code, so I need to verify in order to log in and do something. Okay. So this one to here. Oops. I changed it.
By the way, would you like? So I didn't create for 0.91. I didn't create any milestone, and it's a bug fix release. What is the common practice? So should we have a milestone for that as well in the GitHub?
I don't think so. But let's try to do only that bug fix alone. It's more like a hot fix, right? So yeah, let's
It's
not
just
bring any other
the
changes.
release. Guys, the release doesn't contain just the bug fix. It also contains the RBAC.
Well, it contains a couple of things which kind of ended up in that thing. So okay. Yeah.
My opinion is that we should create a release branch and then only cherry pick that and make a release. That is much better than making a 0.91. I mean, a generic release with many other changes. I know it needs some work, but I think that would be a much better option.
Yeah, in the long run, when we are already GA, and then we need to support multiple versions. But I mean, right now, we just released what we had from the master, and by there is an additional one commit, which doesn't really impact anything. So I would
Okay.
say this is okay for now, given that people want to have a hot
Then
base.
it becomes a feature release, right? Then it becomes 0.10. I hope. I guess.
What?
Why do you want to call it a 0.9.1? It's not a no more a bug fix alone. It contains other changes, so it becomes 0.10.
Um,
The number comes up based on the what changes it has. If it's only bug fix, then of course we can make a 0.9.1. Otherwise, we should do a 0.10.
Yeah, but we already released it, so like I wouldn't like now really like change the version just to. I mean, honestly, like
Yeah, my suggestion, let's settle on how we want to handle this going forward, and we can just be consistent once we start working towards GA. This is something that we can define as part of our governance model, right? And how we want to proceed. So I think that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, but
Sounds
is there anything else we would like to add to the GA? I mean, we have also a number of issues in the Jira. I'm not sure if I tried to reflect them to have them in SIG, but checking on the Jira itself is also worth of to understand what could be done in the following.
No, I think this is a good start for now, I would say.
Okay, and we are planning in the GA around September, right? September.
That's the target.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me.
So docs spec,
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of some of the other stuff has already been done, and ready to go. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So I think Baiju, you brought up this item about.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So that means the change I'm thinking, because there are team members from what do they call, managed services, and are mostly US folks, and I know that they started using our tools, so they will find it much convenient for them to join these calls. That means I need to make little sacrifice, maybe Sri also, because we might need to join little late. I'm okay with that. Sri, do you have any objection to move this to little late, the meeting?
Yeah, I have all the objection in the world because I have two little kids who schooling. I'm running from pillar to post,
Okay.
crazy. After 8, my brain doesn't work. Because I have to give my brains to my kids for their assignments and projects. That's when I get time, after 8 in the night.
So
Is the recording is going to be okay before you? Because I think mostly we'll be discussing, other issues, and if there is any special documentation thing, we can have a separate meeting. Is that okay?
That is one thing. Otherwise, you can let me know, ping or drop a line or two about if something is related to documentation. Then maybe we can meet that way later. Maybe after the daily stand up or something like that, only related to documentation. If there is anything from this meeting, is that okay?
But like before we decide about this, I mean, is there really like, did we get here as a hard obstacle from anybody on that side that they cannot join? I mean, this is like 8 a.m., so it's not really super early. So is that really the hard obstacle why they're not joining the call? So I would avoid moving this like later and affecting you guys in India, and then we'll still have the same result that they're not joining the calls. That's the kind of things.
So
yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Baiju. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see. This is just one of my observation, because, for example, I had a call with what is his name?
Jeremy.
One person who approached me for the MongoDB question. So that meeting, I think he's US West. I think Yeah, very difficult for me, the geography, but I think not on the East Coast, the other side. So that means it must be, it's still not, it must be very early for him right now. So that meeting was happened for early for him, but it was around 8:30 p.m. for me. So like that, those folks, those who are from US, West Coast and all, they might find it convenient to join.
What I may suggest is we're going back to what Predrag was talking about, and also your concerns, Baiju, right? Is maybe we reach out to the various stakeholders and inquire if we are able to move the meeting later. Would they be willing to join? Right, and then that may, or at least help us understand why they're not joining right now, and if timing is an issue, right? Let's propose that we can move the time later, right, to help accommodate them so they can participate.
Yeah,
I think if you can buy a consensus and you reach upon a time, I think that would be good. And on days when I can really able to attend, I would be really in. But on days when I'm not able to attend, then maybe if there's something really important to documentation apart from the recording, one of you can drop a line or two for
Yeah.
me, and then we can talk about it maybe in a stand up or some other meeting like that.
One other suggestion, and again continuing on with this idea, is I know for one of the other communities that we worked with, or one of the other calls that we did a survey, right, asking if folks, if when would be a good time. Maybe we could send out a survey to the participants and find out if there's another time slot that would work better for them.
yeah, that's a good idea. We can send a mail and create a form and ask for their feedback.
For feedback, right?
Time, yeah, with the time
Options
time
and see how it goes.
options.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay. Baiju, would you be able to help lead that effort?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. I prepare a content and then I'll ask for a review and then we
Sure.
can send out.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you. Are there any
I would
other
like to
topics?
see here continue the Drag's discussion
Sure. Okay.
from the other call. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So maybe Predrag, did you want to screen share and you can continue?
Well, I mean, I said everything what I was planning to do. So, like now,
Okay.
I mean, any questions regarding
Yeah.
to the approach?
Yeah. The first question: are we going to propose this into the spec? This idea, is that going to be a viable option for a spec also? Or?
I would say right now no, because this is really implementation detail. So there are out there like clusters which are not having our RBAC at all installed, and that's, I think, still a possible option. So for some clusters that might be interesting for some, but spec is not about I would say restricting who can do what. I mean we could check what they think, but I wouldn't say that this is a really something which, at least not for 1.0, maybe in some later versions of the spec. My personal opinion.
Okay. So we are going to this approach because RBAC is not sufficient to handle all the issues, right? I mean, this kind of scenarios.
No, it's the thing is that the request which service binding operator is performing are performed on under the service account, and that service account has very high rights. So it's not really performed on behalf of the user requesting the binding, and therefore you can actually bind to services you don't have rights to read or access at all. That's the problem.
Yeah, if such a user creates a new custom resource, I mean service binding CR, are they going to get this kind? I mean, they can bypass somehow these restrictions that you are going to bring in,
right?
Like you suggest something like an annotation, so that happens after the first creation, creating the CR, right?
No. This happens. This happens. We are plugging us in with a webhook in that creation part, like workflow. So as a part of the creation, so before landing into database and then informing service binding operator that there is a service binding to be reconciled, we inject this username information as annotation into the CR.
Yeah,
So-
I mean that means that whoever running that thing, and that what if that person itself is a malicious user who creating the CR, and that means he
Yeah.
can get that information, right?
Which information?
The credentials. So we are okay. Let me step back.
No. It's not about credentials at all. So we only wants to record who is requesting service binding, and this is a public information. This is just a username, no passwords, no credentials, nothing like that. So we're just recording in the same service binding. What was the username? Because Kubernetes itself doesn't provide you that kind of information regularly in the database. But at the time of the creation or update of service binding, when talking to the API server, that information is available. And so we just want to inject that information as annotation next to this in the binding. And later on in the reconcile process, we use that information to check if the user who is requesting the binding has rights to read the service or update the application resource. And if not, we raise an error.
Yeah, that user having access, that could be handled through the. Okay, we are basically taking that whoever. Okay, I mean that means it's like a bypassing whatever there in the service account, or maybe I should think in some other way. Like it's like a impersonating that service account with this user account.
A kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Not really impersonating, but we actually check before making any request if the current user would have right to do so.
Yeah, I think I got the gist of that idea. Okay. I know I am not that much aware of this all the security stuff, but there is something called a what do they call security policy agents and all, right? Those kind of any. Do you have any idea about those? Is that
But
going to
this
help
is-
somehow?
No. This is just a different beast. Like there, with that kind of policy agent, you define some additional rules, some additional checks, which are then implemented. So that policy agents practically implement that through various webhooks and other Kubernetes mechanism to ensure that resource is valid according to some more complex rules and so on and so on. So it's not really helping us in that sense. So it might help us if we want to have some complex validation rules or something else, then this kind of policy agent would be helpful. But in this particular case, doesn't really help us.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll spend some time to read upon all these areas because it's new to me. Yeah, but I understand the intent. That looks good. But the implementation details is what I don't know much about that area. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have anything else to add, but otherwise, yeah, good.
Okay, sounds good. Any other topics for today?
I would just like to ask Baju, like, what is the status of the user doc? Like, is there any more work you're planning to put on that, or you're just now waiting for the reviews and feedback from various like
right now I'm waiting mostly on the feedback. I can see Steven started reviewing today. I got a few. He actually started sending directly some commits after discussing with me. So he made some direct commits into my PR, and afterwards I'm putting some kind of what do you call area that I need to update. So that means I'm looking to that. That is mostly done. He done this quick start. He told me that he is going to look into the other document, other parts, or other PRs also.
Okay.
So And I know that Sri has also addressed review comments from Sri, so I'm expecting her to look once again that quick start and other documents.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I have some pressing documents to attend to today. So that's why Friday is usually the end of weekend. So I can give my mind and proper attention. So
Yeah.
I'll keep it for tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So my plan is I'll be addressing these review comments on a priority, but meanwhile I'll like to start working on other issues. The one which I picked up, that bug I reported, that I'm planning to work on. Yeah, while prioritizing this documentation's review comments, if there is anything comes up. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other topics for today? Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Have yourselves a good day. Thank you for joining.
Thank you all. Have a
Ciao.
good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.